disingenuous. He stands as a beacon of truth. He is Abuki Cabal. You are listening to Abuki Cabal.
Welcome to the Abuki Cabal Show.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Again, sorry about my absence the last week or so. Just east. So, those who appreciate it. If you guys could take a minute and share it, notification. Today I've got a little treat for you guys. I also showed a long time ago quite disturbing. But it is indicative of a lot of what happens in relationships where people tend to put their careers above their relationships. And, you don't find this. I mean, I've been around a lot of Indian couples where, the wife might be a doctor, the husband might be, something else, a nurse or whatever the case may be, but she never puts her job above her status as a wife. But for some strange reason, black women tend to do that. And we see that, and I'm not saying all black women, but the ones who are on the stage and the most visible tend to be doing just that. So I have a prime example of it, and the level of disrespect and mistreatment of the husband in this case is just indicative of raggedy Ann behavior. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play the audio. I can't play the video because the last time I tried to do this, it was taken down. So there is no fair use with anything that comes with the Real Housewives. So be aware if you're trying to do some commentary on their shows. Andy is a stingy motherfucker. Excuse me. When it comes down to sharing the content and discussing the content. So without further ado, let's take a listen to some of this. Here we go.
Jackie, you alive in there?
Come on in. Ooh, did you work out?
Sexy.
Did you work out?
If you want me to have worked out, that's what I did. What are you doing?
Charting.
Jackie. For Curtis to have missed this trip, this is serious.
How are you?
That's really not the question. Where is Curtis?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know who Curtis is her husband. This is Dr. Jackie's husband, and he ends up leaving her for her to go to this trip, this girls' trip in Hawaii, well, this couple's trip in Hawaii, because she's just been disrespecting him, something terrible, because he's been asking her to spend time with him. So I want you to listen closely to how she characterizes his pleas for affection and attention from his wife in his marriage.
Curtis is in Atlanta, GA.
What happened? This is a couple's trip.
You know Curtis's thing is you work too much and you just give your life to everybody. And then just Curtis is complaining and fussing and it just one word led to another. Silence wasn't golden. Curtis is already upset that I work so much. I got a chart now.
What about just relaxing, son?
What does that look like?
Just doing something else. You know,
Okay, now I'm going to add the links in the description, but I want you guys to really focus on her facial expressions when she says, "What does that look like?" I mean, she looks just like, just so disrespectful about this. He's begging his wife for attention. And she is, if you don't know what charting is for doctors and for nurses. That's how everybody gets paid. But the more patients you take on, the more charting you're going to have to do. And the more charting you have to do, sometimes charting gets so overwhelming that you end up doing some of it at home. So she apparently has taken on quite a few more patients, and she's taking her work home. She's charting constantly. She's even on this girls' trip, and she's still charting. Now, I used to work for a physician really closely, and his charting was overwhelming. You have to take up a tremendous amount of time trying to maintain this charting on the procedures that you do on a day-to-day basis in order for you to get paid reimbursements. Okay, so this is what she's doing. I mean, she doesn't necessarily have to do this, but she's doing it. So keep that in mind. She's doing more than what she actually has to do. She can do less and still have a relationship, but she is trying to do more. She is working as if nothing else matters. She's putting everything else on the back burner, like everything else is going to still be there, after she gets done, doing, her best at her career, but unfortunately, time waits for no one. We all get old, and I'm going to tell you, everything that's good about relationships doesn't get better as you get older. Your ability to physically do things diminishes over time. So let's take a look at this, and I want you to keep all that stuff in mind.
that preferably with her husband.
But in order to go on this trip for a few days, I've been working a lot. And I think all of that just threw Curtis over the edge.
Do you?
Okay, let me stop there. So you have a doctor, a very successful doctor, and she just basically told a bald-faced lie. I've had to work a whole lot in order for us to go on this trip for a few days to Hawaii. Let me tell you something. There is, for her, that money is nothing. That's a drop in the bucket for her to go to Hawaii for a couple of days. She has it 10, 20, 30 times over. I can guarantee you. She's just working because she wants to work. That's what she wants to do. And she's excluding her husband because that's what she wants to do. There's other things that are underlying situations that she is not really being forthcoming about that's causing her to basically bury herself in work. But let's take a listen.
Hear what Curtis is saying?
Oh, I hear
He
it.
says you're
I
too
hear it.
busy.
See, too busy is relative. Don't keep talking to me over and over about the same thing that I can't change.
Curtis is not an obstetrician. He doesn't have a practice. He's not gonna get it. And you gotta understand that from his point. He knows that you're overworking. He wishes that you would settle down. And it's a horrible thing to be in a marriage and be lonely. I think.
Now, why does another person have to tell her what her husband is feeling inside of her relationship? See, this is why people outside of people's relationships end up being with the person who is in that relationship, because they understand that man a lot better than the person who's in a relationship in the first place. This woman does not value her husband, and you're going to see later on. I mean, not in this episode necessarily, but later on, she's going to have him groveling back because he ends up cheating. So he's going to have to grovel and just beg her, please. I miss you, and all this stuff. And she takes no responsibility for her part in running her husband into the arms of another. But we're going to listen to this whole thing, and let me see what you guys think about this.
Jackie drowns herself in work because she fought off breast cancer twice. She never got to have that baby. She never got to have that family that she always thought she would have.
Now, this is her friend who is talking to her, who is Dr. Whitmore, who is a gynecologist. Okay? So she is basically trying to explain the position of the husband and why Jackie just can't see anything outside of work.
And now, I'm worried she's gonna lose her marriage.
I'm shocked. I'm hurt. I'm angry. And I'm frustrated because it is very easy for most people to say, you're too busy. And most people don't even walk a mile in my shoes.
Yeah.
But you know what I say to that? What I say to that is, you are a highly trained professional, a medical professional at that. And you should know when you should seek out some help, some psychological help, because clearly you've gone through a lot. Clearly there's a need for counseling, intense counseling, with and without your husband, so that you can get over some of these things that have psychologically scarred you. But that still is no excuse for you turning your back on your marriage and the husband that you've been with for years, father of your children at that. Okay, so she starts crying, and then she hugs up with the other doctor, and the episode ends. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next episode, where we find out what happens to the marriage as a result of her.
Over the last few months, it's been
As a result of her inactivity in the marriage. So she's explaining this. So let's take a listen.
Over the last few months, it's been a struggle. If you're talking to me right now, I want a divorce. But after the forgiveness ceremony in New Orleans, weak people choose to get revenge. Strong people choose to forgive and move forward. I'm willing to sit and listen and talk about it.
My hair looks good.
Thank you.
You locking the doors at night?
Yeah, I lock the doors at night. I read the text messages, and thank you for the flowers and all the gifts.
Ta-da.
Oh, this is I'm on my hands and knees present right here. Is this working for you, though?
No.
Wow, so in that little section, he's sending flowers, and all of her office staff is sitting there with all of the floral arrangements coming and everything, and they love it. But she's just like, this is nothing to me. This means nothing to me. And she's got all of her staff all in her business. Humiliating her husband in front of people that he's going to see. He's going to be around again if he hadn't been around before. And you're humiliating your husband in this situation. You have no regard for how he's seen in public. Let's move on.
Things don't fix the problem.
It wasn't done to fix a problem. It was done to let you know that I'm thinking about you. I miss you. I think about you all the time. I love you. I want my family. I want you. I know that's asking a lot right now under the circumstances, but I want to figure out a way to fix it.
So I find this very distasteful and hard to even deal with, where you have a woman who was begged, I mean, he was begging. The husband was begging for time, for attention, for a normal relationship, and all she wanted to do was bury herself in work. And then all of a sudden, when he has an affair, then she's just blown away that this happened. Oh, I can't believe that he had an affair. Well, you've been ignoring your husband for months because of your own internal reasons or excuses, however you want to put it. But now when he goes out, you're going to make him grovel on television to get back with you because of something that you basically caused. But there's zero accountability on her side when dealing with what she did to cause this. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction in everything. That's not just physics. That's everything. So there's a cause and effect in all of this. She caused this to happen and denies that the effect that her actions brought about. And it's very painful to watch this almost childish response to what she brought about. For me, I would have just said, hey, I'm not going to beg you to be back with you. I asked you for time. This came about. Hey, I might have had sex with this woman, but she's not my wife. I do love my wife. I can love you and still have slept with somebody else. I mean, you of all people should know that. I mean, I'm sure you counsel other patients and whatnot in all kinds of situations like this every day and take a neutral position. So how about taking a neutral position in your own and try to understand how you brought about this disaster upon our relationship? Yet I still, as your husband, want to be with you. Let's take a listen.
How do you fix humiliation?
So she's the only one that's humiliated. See how everything becomes her. It's everything that she's the victim in this situation. Oh, I'm humiliated. What about his humiliation? What about his humiliation in having to beg his wife for affection? What about his humiliation of being on television on Bravo, begging his wife, and then she's basically twisting the knife, saying how humiliated she was. But she wasn't looking too humiliated when, she went to Hawaii on her own. She was making fun of him and his request for attention and affection. So I want you to look at this and look at these two clips. I want you to weigh this and look at how the manipulation, the psychological manipulation that takes place between women and men, and how unfair it is.
I know it's been hard on you, but it's been hard all the way around.
Okay. I've been back through, in a retro, back to my dad and his passing and what that felt like, and breast cancer and infertility and all the things that you thought were those things that felt the worst in life.
Difficult times.
Mm-hmm. However, I think this tops them all.
We're talking about all of these things, and then she's talking about this tops them all. You look at, Dr. Jack, she's old. She's old. She's talking about infertility. Maybe you should have been looking for that infertility. You of all people should know that you weigh into geriatric pregnancy. You done waited after med school to try to have children and whatnot. You can't do that. You can't do that. And now you sitting up adding all of this stuff and saying, look, woe is me. You should have known that I was in the lowest place of all time. You shouldn't have done this to me. Guys, do not lower yourself. Don't debase yourself with this type of mess from women. This is a hot mess. Look at it for what it is. This is manipulation. And this is basically to humiliate you even further. So you might as well go on, move on, get you a younger one that's, that you don't have to do all this. If you with somebody that truly loves you, you don't have to put forth a whole bunch of effort about asking what you want. They're going to make you a priority. She didn't make her husband a priority. So, I mean, to me, that's a given. If you don't make me a priority, then, I have to start making myself a priority.
There's probably a lot of things that I took for granted in you that I shouldn't have. And I'll certainly take the blame. I'll take the responsibility.
See, this is him coming up with shit just to be able to say that, okay, I did something wrong. I can't really put my finger on it, but, hey, let me make up some shit so I sound contrite. So that, I don't sound like I'm not really receptive to your hurt and pain. So let me just get a little puppy dog face on and look uncomfortable so that she'll finally welcome me back into the fold. This is bullshit, y'all. Don't fall for this. Don't allow them to do this. Tell her if you want to remain hurt, you want to remain single, carry your ass on over there and be powerful and single and overworked. You don't have time for nobody else. You ain't got no time for me, so you definitely won't have no time for nobody else. So, go on over there and drop like a raisin, and I'll holler at you later on. Don't fall for this.
So, I know it's a lot. So think about it.
I'm not making any promises, but let's just kick it here. You stop by here. I'm not ready to go out and face the world, and I'm not.
Okay. So those were the little clips there from Bravo. Go and check out these clips, and you guys let me know what you think about this. But it's really some tired mess to see her do this to that guy, to her husband. I myself, I just would have, I would have left her where she was. I would have gave her a time frame and said, all right, well, you coming? If you're coming, this is where it's going to end. I'm going to give you till next week. So you make a decision. If you can't make a decision, then I'm going to push on. I mean, it ain't like you don't only got money around here. I got money too. So he can go on over there. He in Atlanta. He already found him a nice young tender to go ahead and go kick it with him and ride around with him because, some of her friends saw him riding with the girl. So, I fault her. She caused this. You know what I mean? If you starve any person, they will become ravenous and they will seek out food. Same thing with the coochie. You will seek out coochie if you have not had none and you are being denied that closeness from your significant other. So if you feel like work is more important than your man, then this is what you deserve. So, and we see this across the board. All these women are saying, hey, my career, my job. But in truth, they're never happy. They're never happy with that job. That job, they get that job that they think that they want, and they hate it. Then they move on to another job that they think they want, and they hate it. It's because nothing can ever fit the fantasy that they have fixed in their mind from the time that they're little girls to the time that they become young women. They live in search of this fantasy, perfect, Barbie and Ken type of life. My man is going to do this. He's going to have this much money. He's going to be this tall. I'm going to be able to work, and then I'm going to be able to come home and just do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm not going to have to cook. I'm not going to, live like my mother and my grandmother did, because they all hate their mothers and grandmothers' lifestyles from the position of what they thought it was, because they're looking from the outside, looking at these people's lifestyles and not understanding, the time frame that they were in, whether they really, really love their husbands to the point to where they cater to their husbands. They all see it as they were being made to do all of these things. That it never enters their mind that these women did these things because they loved their husbands and they wanted to cater to their husbands. They wanted to make sure that he ate. They made his plate for him. They kept themselves up for him. They wanted to have sex with their husbands. They wanted to be affectionate with their husbands. They wanted to spend time with their husbands. That never enters their minds, because the relationships nowadays are just, most of them are dysfunctional. I had a young lady come on my Facebook today and say, why do I hate women? Because I point out things, dysfunctional behavior. But that's her job. You're supposed to point out dysfunctional behavior in women and let women know that you're not supposed to come out with your ass cheeks out like Lizzo. You're not supposed to be coming out all buck naked and shit in public, like all of these entertainers. Those are entertainers. That's what they do. But normal women used to be chaperoned, to things so that things would happen in a respectful way. That's no longer the case, but, people should know how to act in certain situations. But now we've got to the point where anything goes. Anything goes in any situation. Inappropriate shit is appropriate now. Up is down, down is up. Wrong is right. Right is wrong. And we just don't know where we stand in anything. You got, women out here thinking that they're supposed to have 50 different, guys. And then at the end of that 50 different guys, then they can get married and act like they're a virgin and wear a white dress. And women are allowing this shit. So basically, in essence, what they're doing is they've taken the rank system in women away. You used to have good girls who were, the top of the rank system. And then you had whores that were down at the bottom, They could never get to the top. You didn't treat them the same as the ones that were good girls, But now everybody thinks, and you actually have women out here saying, treat all women the same. You're supposed to treat straight gutter whores the same as women who are like, say, Michelle Obama. You're supposed to treat them the same. You're supposed to treat fat chicks the same as you treat, chicks who are in shape and, have done the work. You're supposed to treat crazy chicks the same as chicks with no mental problems. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. And you know who's making up these crazy ass rules? Feminists. Feminists are making these crazy ass rules. So the world is being torn apart by people who have no business trying to make any kind of laws, rules, guidelines, or anything like that. And as a result, this is what we have. Look around you and look at the dysfunction as it grows every day. We have this because of this new age, modern woman belief system. Now, if I'm wrong, hey, I'm willing to accept that I'm wrong. Bring me some evidence that I'm wrong, and I'm willing to look at it and weigh it from an objective position. But I dare you to do it. You can't. Nothing like this has ever happened in the history of the world. And due to this, if we stay on this current path, the only thing that's in the future for us is the total destruction of our society as we know it. So with that, I'll go ahead and I'll close. you guys hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Also hit that notification button. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to listen to the show. And again, let me know what you think in the comments. I love back and forth and with everybody in the comments. And have a good time discussing grown folks talk. So with that, I will close. You guys have a great day, night, evening, or whenever you listen to the program.